So I have had the most insane sailing experience of my life. Admittedly, I am new to sailing. I'm a sports dietitian. I'm working with American Magic with the big yachts that they're racing for Barcelona at the moment for America's Cup. And I've always found with athletes that it's really useful to understand their sport by getting involved and doing it so you understand the challenges, the things that come easy, and then I can give better nutrition advice to account for that. And well, I mean, today's sailing experience topped the cake. So I've probably been sailing 3-4 times and done a little bit of racing in like little boats. And then when I was in Italy a couple of weeks ago, I sailed a small like one man, like small cabin berth sailboat, which was beautiful. But I've never been in a storm with 15-knot winds where we're lucky to get alive, probably in some regards. So everything started well. Beautiful day. I was sailing. I'm learning how to, I guess, drive the boat. It's probably not the wrong terminology. Don't come at me if I'm using the wrong terms. Steer the boat. I'm steering the boat and learning how to, I guess, master the winds and the direction of the winds so that you go fast and more. I was sailing probably 21 knots against the wind, and sort of get to the other side of the bay, turn around, you're like, oh, it's a bit of a storm brewing. So we start going towards it and it gets bigger. So then we turn back, we go back towards, again, the other side where we've come from. And then it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And then it just kind of like hit us out of nowhere. It came very, very quickly. It hit us out of nowhere with, I think, maybe within about 20 seconds. And we were in these 50-knot winds. The wind, the waves were enormous, and our sails got absolutely shattered because we couldn't pull them down because the waves were so big that one of the guys was trying to. There was 3 of us on the boat. The guy, he was trying to get the sails down, couldn't get them down, so they're just like flapping, going crazy, and then you see these pieces of sail go flying off into the water. And there's probably 3 moments where I honestly thought we were going to capsize. I was never worried that we were going to, I wasn't worried that we were going to die, but maybe I should have been, but I did honestly think that we were going to capsize, probably on a couple of occasions. And the boat, with the size of the waves, were insane. And then we sort of kind of getting under control, trying to outrun the boat using the motor. The motor blows up, doesn't it? Because it's, I guess, going against such strong winds. Then we have no motor. Our sails are in tatters, and we're just kind of like bobbing there all over the place. And at one point, and then I think it happened really quick. I don't know what happened. I think the wind must have just changed direction and done it like a 180, because the mast was a bit let loose. I was onto the port side, and then all of a sudden I was sitting on the starboard side on the edge, and then there was the other girl I was with. She was the one driving at this point and steering the boat. And then next thing, we're both on the ground. We've been hit. So I'm gonna have a nice black eye tomorrow. So yeah, she got fully hit in the head by the boom, and I got hit by part of it on the ropes or something. I don't know, like it happened in a split second. So she's concussed, she's hit a leg, she's like wanting to vomit, and then we're like, great, so now it's me. I've sailed probably 4 times in total, never in conditions like this, and it's just kind of like survival. Try to keep everything down. We managed to get to a point where we're just floating in the water. We keep just drifting further and further down the coast, and the Coast Guard, obviously we're trying to get the Coast Guard to maybe come and help us or something, but everyone's boats are in an emergency situation at this point, and we're just sort of sitting there. And eventually, like, the other guy sort of calms down enough for us to sort of try and figure out a solution of what we're going to do. And the guy whose boat it was, because this is a racing boat, so this is also, for me, it was learning how to race this boat and how to, like, what you've got to do. So, which I'm enjoying the experience, and I haven't been scared off. I think they were assuming I would get scared off, but I've said before that I'm good in a crisis, and they're like, no, you're not good in a crisis. You are great in a crisis. You're someone that we want on a boat if something like this happens. Obviously, we don't want it to happen, but it, so then we get the motor kind of sort of working, but then we realize the exhaust has completely melted through and burnt. So that's why we can't go over a certain sort of speed. We can basically get into gear 1, gear 2. So at one point when the wind had died down enough, we could get into gear 2, but that was with the boat on autopilot because what happened was the boat underneath is just filling up with water in the engine. And so you need basically 2 people to empty out the water fast enough to not cause it to explode and start having smoke and fire and flames, which is never a good thing when you're out in the middle of nowhere on the water. So we're there. This sailing session was supposed to take 3 hours. I got home, we just got back to port 7 hours later. So yeah, we spent 4 hours kind of just like getting battered and blown and flown all the way around the place, which was not part of the plan, but hasn't scared me off. I'll obviously not going to go and ask for sailing sessions like that, but I know now what to avoid. I know I've learned some tricks and things that I need to be aware of, things that need to be tied down and things that need to be get rid of, and that was my day.